This very unprecedented decision of making the entire army of a nation designated as a terrorist organization, all it really does is that it increases the tensions between the United States and Iran, reduces opportunities for diplomacy, which then makes conflict more likely. By making conflict more likely, this decision is making America less safe. America should be pursuing a path of trying to resolve its tensions with Iran diplomatically, as the previous administration in Washington did, and was actually successful in doing so. Trump instead has gone forward with a policy that seems to really be aimed not at serving American interests, but by helping Netanyahu in Israel and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And their interest is different from that of the United States, at least when it comes to this issue.
We'll come to the Israeli Benjamin Netanyahu issue in a moment, but there has been some indication that this announcement, this designation, was meant to target the Quds Force, the Al-Quds Force. Do you think there is some legitimacy in that, or some, that it is fair to call that force a terrorist group?
This is not about whether the decision is accurate or legitimate. It's about whether this actually is helpful towards the objectives that the United States should be having. What this seems to be aimed at doing is either drive the United States towards a military confrontation with Iran, or at a minimum, trap the United States in a permanent enmity with Iran, which is exactly what the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia and the Prime Minister of Israel wants. So whether the essential issue about Quds is correct or not is of secondary importance, because at the end of the day, this will have almost zero effect on that organization. It will have almost zero effect on the Iranian economy, because the IRGC is already under a tremendous amount of economic sanctions. This doesn't add pressure to them economically. This just changes the political situation, and it turns it into a much, much more dangerous situation.
There is no doubt that Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel is going to be celebrating this decision and holding it up to his right-wing support base as evidence of how successful he is and how well he's managing this relationship with Donald Trump. However, what does the US get out of this?
The U.S. really doesn't get anything out of this, in my view. In fact, it really endangers the U.S. Imagine a situation in 2021 when there's a different administration in the United States that actually wants to rejoin the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, or wants to just find some peaceful ways of reducing tensions with Iran. Well, this decision makes it much, much more difficult for a future U.S. administration to pursue diplomacy. And that's where the real danger of this lies. It's not that this decision will cause a military confrontation between Iran and the United States next week. But what it will do is that it will make it much, much more difficult to diplomatically resolve the problems down the road, even when the president's name has changed.